Now, this is the third version of this video. I recorded it twice. I recorded it the first time and then recorded it again because I was like, that didn't feel right. And then I had the same reaction to the second time and I was like, something is missing from this video about art block because art block sucks. But I think I have actually just managed to come out of my art block slump that's lasted a couple months. So I am kind of glad that I didn't immediately release the video. The main reason why I didn't was because I was having difficulties with getting my I had a recording of me drawing on my iPad that I was gonna speed up and stuff, and it just my programs weren't cooperating with me, so it was the actual video side of things that was being a butthead. So that made me procrastinate and put it off. But I am glad I did because now my video about art block can actually have a bit more of certainty of what the solutions could be. Because the initial thing was just some advice and then me being like, but I don't know if this will work because I have art block currently. But we're back. So, art block, for those that don't know or have been lucky enough to just avoid it, which I am very jealous of you. If you've never had art block, please tell me your secrets. So basically, art block is where you're just either it's you're out of inspiration, can't come up with any ideas, or just for me it was more everything I did just kind of sucked. It felt like my drawings were not at my normal level, which is really frustrating when it feels like that your skills have regressed. And it's especially sucks if you're a manga artist, because manga requires you to kind of be making art regularly if you want to be releasing your chapters on a actually decent schedule. And I was at a point where I'm up to my first chapter of my manga, I'm up to the storyboarding stage, and now I'm actually excited. Well, maybe I can start doing that because I've been leaving it off because I just didn't want to do the drawing side of my story when my drawing sucks at the moment. And yeah, it also didn't help that I moved houses, so for a while there I just couldn't do anything because all my stuff was packed away. So that that wasn't the start of my most recent art block, but it definitely exacerbated it. But anyway, enough about my backstory and all my ranting. Let's talk about some techniques and tips that might help you break out of art block if that's what you're struggling with at the moment. So some of these tips have worked for me in the past, or I found on various websites because I did do research for this, like a real YouTuber. So the first thing I can suggest is trying out a new medium, which is actually part of what's helped me for this time. So by a new medium, I just mean whatever you usually draw with, go, nah, we're drawing with something else. So not this most recent bout, but there was another time where I did a lot of watercolor. I have a video about me doing watercolor. I would put it in the corner and link, but I'm bad at my job and don't know how to do that. So if you're really curious about my watercolor video, after you watch this one, you can just click the channel button and scroll for it. It shouldn't be too hard to find. I don't have that many videos. But yes, so watercolor is one I can suggest, but if you're already a watercolor artist, then naturally find something else. I just recommend it because it's pretty cheap and easy to get. I also did try paint, acrylic paint, but it felt like I was running out of paint quite quickly because I just bought a pack of little ones, and yeah, you can run out of acrylic paint pretty quickly compared to something like watercolor where you can buy a palette for I think it was you can buy one of those cake palette things for $10, and that should last you for a while, and you've got lots of colors. I also personally use one of the brushes that has the water inside it because my cat likes to drink my paint water. And whilst I'm pretty sure that watercolor is not going to hurt him, I still don't want to risk it because I love my baby. He is the best cat. So yeah, but yeah, watercolor is one I can suggest. And also, clay is oddly quite fun to use. I have made these little rock critter people, so a little family as a decoration out of clay. I find going for maybe more organic style shapes, especially because if you're like me, you haven't really worked with it that much, and organic stuff, if it's a bit wonky, it looks right. So yeah, there's some suggestions. For me, part of what I've been doing is working on my digital stuff, because my expectations for myself with digital art is a lot lower than when I draw traditionally, because digital art I'm not as experienced with, still working at just the functions and how it works. So I don't have to draw as well for me to be like, dang, I made that. So yeah, that's why trying a new medium can be helpful, just because you don't have the same expectations for yourself, because of course you're going to suck at it. You've never done this before. The next thing I am going to suggest is beading. Now, according to my analytics, most of the people who watch my videos tend to be male, and I know that beading is seen as a more feminine hobby because, usually you're doing it to make jewelry. So I can get why some people might go, huh, beading? I specifically recommend candy, which is a type of bead that are big plastic beads. They're also often called pony beads in stores. They're pretty big beads. Like, they're very easy to work with. They're intended for kids. But I specifically recommend candy because, pretty easy to access, and unlike something like crochet or knitting, beading is something you can just do without needing to practice any physical skills. It's kind of like how you can play a piano without doing anything, like you can make noise with it, unlike something like a violin where you have to practice just to even start, which those kind of things can be quite frustrating, so that's why beading specifically. But candy has the advantage of being pretty easy to access. There's also lots of tutorials for it specifically, but it has like a low bar to entry and a pretty high ceiling. You can make some funky stuff, like I made a little 3D octopus, I made stars, I've made various like big cuffs and necklaces and stuff. Like, there's a lot of options. Currently also making a bag. So yes, there's a lot of things you can make, and it's pretty cool just having a look. And the beads are pretty cheap and easy to get. Like, any place that sells beads is going to have a packet of them. You can get small packets for like $2, which can last you a fair while if you're just making like single bracelets, which are really fun to make. I spent ages when I first started getting into it just making single bracelets, and I have buckets of them, and they're pretty satisfying to just swoosh your hands around in them, even if you don't want to particularly wear them. But I mean, you can also just make them for friends and stuff, or just wear them, because why not? The next thing I can suggest is blackout poetry, because blackout poetry is pretty easy to do, is more where this one's coming from. So basically, blackout poetry, if you're unaware, is like a type of poetry where you get like a page of a book, like a novel, and you black out words and leave a couple of words, and like the words you leave are like the new text that you've created. You can do it where you just black it out, or you can draw it and stuff. There's lots of funky things you can do. If you look up blackout poetry, you'll see plenty of examples. I actually have a novel that I bought from the op shop for like $2. That's my like rip the pages out to do blackout poetry novel, because I don't want to ruin any of my actual books. It means I don't have to go and print out a page every time. But if you don't like the idea of ripping pages out of books, which I can understand, it hurts every time I do it. It's pretty easy to find pages of books. Like, you can look up PDFs of most public domain books. Actually, most popular books. If you look up insert title PDF, you will find a PDF and you can print it out. But I say public domain because we don't want to steal copyrighted material. I definitely do not have Kindles of just PDFs I have found of books that I didn't pay for, because the piracy is bad. Wink, wink. Yes, so trying out blackout poetry could be fun. I also just feel like it's not something people talk about much. I found out about it because we did it at school, but I feel like in general, I don't know if it is a big deal and I just don't know about it. Now, the final, I guess, tip that I had prepared was making zines. Now, if you're unaware, zines are like little books. They're like self-published. Zines comes from the word like magazine. So it's spelt zine, but it's pronounced zine. I was saying zine for a while until I watched some videos about it and was like, oh, it's zine as in magazine. But they are kind of different from your normal magazines, as they're like, it sort of was quite popularized by like the punk movement, so it's got this very DIY amateur feel to it. So one advantage of it is if your zine looks bad or not fully polished, that's kind of part of their vibe. I've made a heap on Canva. I did it specifically on Canva because I still don't know where our A4 pieces of paper are at the moment, because recently moved house, so doing it traditionally wasn't really that easy or convenient because I didn't have access to like art supplies and paper, so I was doing it on Canva. There's like a template or size for zines and stuff, and I've been making like 8-page ones because you can fold an A4 piece of paper into an 8-page book. So it's good because you get to work on a whole heap of different skills, and I feel like graphic design like is kind of adjacent to making art, but it doesn't require the same sort of like, I don't know, it's a similar skill but not exactly the same. So you still get that sense of being creative, but if drawing, just for example, is not working for you at the moment, maybe it'll work instead. And I've also been enjoying it because you get to like do like little mini research projects, because I've made ones on different topics. So I made one about ducks because I love ducks. Ducks are my favorite animal. So I got an excuse to research duck facts. And I got to make an 8-page little book about ducks because ducks are awesome. I made some about like some just talking about my favorite games, characters I like, ideas for trinkets, the elements of art. I went and did research on like fast fashion, just all sorts of different things, and playing around with making different books of different little aesthetics. It's really fun. I can recommend it just because that's what I've mostly been doing. And I want to see more zines because I've learned about them and I'm like, this is a cool concept. I like books. I like, supporting smaller artists and stuff, and I just, seeing people make stuff is cool. So yes, zines. I recommend there's a channel called Bratty something rather. Bratty. I will link them in the description. I watch them a fair bit. They make things about zines. Bratty XX Brie, I think is their name. But yeah, I can recommend them if you're curious about zines and want to actually do a bit more research, because I'm not going to deep dive here into what they are and what they entail. Basically, you can make them about anything, but I know saying that could be a bit overwhelming. So yes, now let's get to what I've been doing to actually get out of this rut. The additional stuff that makes this version of the script and video the best version. So basically, it starts with fan art. Specifically, fan art where I drew Sora from Kingdom Hearts as a character from Twisted Wonderland. Now, if you don't know what any of that meant, Twisted Wonderland is a gacha game. I think it's an otome. It's like an app game that you can play that's Disney themes, where basically you're like at Hogwarts, but the houses are Disney villains and they think that they're good or something. I'm not very far through the story. But because it's Disney crossover related, I was like, you know what I should cross it over with? Another Disney crossover game, Kingdom Hearts, which I have been playing a lot lately because I've had art block and I've been trying to platinum the game because Kingdom Hearts has taken over my life. If you have known me for like the last 6 months since I started playing, chances are I have rambled to you about Kingdom Hearts. You probably didn't understand a thing I'm saying because I don't know what I'm talking about either, because Kingdom Hearts is confusing and weird. And I love it for that. I love unnecessarily convoluted, stupid lore. I am so tempted right now to just ramble about Kingdom Hearts, but that's not what this video is about. I will probably one day make a video about that because I love Kingdom Hearts. But yes, fan art tends to actually be a pretty good way to just do stuff. Specifically, I find redesigning a comfort character as into something else. So again, there was another time where I think about 6 months ago when I first started Kingdom Hearts, something that got me back into drawing after not drawing for a while was drawing Sora. It's kind of funny because this one's Twisted Wonderland, but last time it was drawing Sora in like an outfit inspired by just Wonderland, because if you've played the games, certain worlds he gets like special outfits to go into, because like when he goes into the Little Mermaid world, he has to turn into a mermaid because otherwise he would drown because they're underwater for that. So yeah, I was like, it'd be cool if he had a Wonderland outfit, so that's something I did. So yes, I can actually confirm this is a good idea of drawing like crossover things. So drawing a character in a new sort of style seems to work for me. Specifically, like drawing a character you just like drawing and, you know, combining with different things. Because, I don't know, it's just cool to reimagine them in different outfits and stuff. I like clothes. I know it probably doesn't show much in my art because I've been told that my outfits always look kind of dorky and goofy, but I do like fashion. Just apparently I have bad taste in it. And then, from there, I'm like, cool. I want to keep drawing because, oh yeah, I like drawing. So then, I went back to my, challenge I set myself in, like, 2023 February, where I would draw every single Genshin character to learn digital art. I'm not that far through it. When I started, Baiju was the most recently released character, so that's how long I've been taking, and I still haven't even gotten past, like, version 1. But yeah, so then I drew, like, Mona from Genshin, which is one of the characters. I was like, that was fun. And then the next day, I'm like, you know what? I want to keep my streak up. And then I drew Kaching. And I was actually, this is the artwork that you're seeing being drawn in the background of this video. This is probably my favorite digital art piece I've created so far. This actually feels like, I'm like, cool. This is an artwork where I feel like it actually doesn't look too bad. I mean, it still probably does look quite amateurish, but I feel like this is a style I could get behind. Improving my skills and making stuff that looks like this. Which then led me to, like, only a couple of hours later going, you know what? I want to see if I can do that again. And then I drew Venti. I don't like Venti as much as Kaching, because I went with a more complicated pose, so there are some more mistakes and stuff that, but, like, I'm still like, dang, that looks not like I don't know, like, just some of my other ones have looked very much like, I'm like, yeah, this looks like I don't know what kind of brushes to use, how this works at all. Or they'll look okay, but it's because I just, like, did it as a study and traced. Like, I made it clear that it was tracing and stuff, but I'm like, this is the first time that I felt like, okay, maybe I actually can do this and I'm getting somewhere, and I'm actually just, I don't know, enjoying the feeling of digital art, which I just haven't in the past. I don't know, maybe because it's been a while since drawing normally has felt nice, so maybe that's making it feel better. But yeah, I'm actually kind of excited about drawing things, and also just, I don't know, I also did draw a sketch of, like, Sora and Riku together, which are the two main guys in Kingdom Hearts, and I'm like, dang it, after drawing these two dorks together, I want to draw my two dorks together. So yeah, I feel like just drawing very self-indulgent stuff, and, like, challenging yourself, being like, well, I drew yesterday, why don't we draw today as well? And just, I guess also drawing stuff that's successful also can help reinvigorate that. Like, I definitely think the Kaching piece, you know, turning out not horribly is very motivating, and like, that's something I haven't been able to do before, so that's exciting for me. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe digital art is kind of fun, maybe I could be kind of good at this, and that, you know, can bring back passion and stuff. So yeah, I feel like, I don't know if exactly, like, what of these factors is it, and even maybe just talking about this twice, like ranting in the previous attempts of videos, maybe that also helped, because it got me thinking about art block and going through ideas and just talking about it. But yeah, I can't guarantee that my art block's completely gone, but the fact that I released 2 posts on Instagram in the same day, which, if you follow me on Instagram, is not a common occurrence, especially given I can go months without posting. If you follow me on Instagram, prepare for a very erratic schedule, and you will not know what I'm releasing next, because neither do I. I will one day, it's like, here's a normal artwork in my normal style, and then the next it's like, here's something completely random I did. When I first started Instagram, I was like, no, I need it to all look nice. Have aesthetics, have a nice brand. And then I'm like, stuff that, I'm making random stuff. I thought this was fun and cool. I am posting it. So yeah, my Instagram feed looks very messy and random, because I also don't tend to delete posts. Like, I know that some people like to clean out their Instagram feed, so like they'll get rid of older posts so that it looks nice and has a sort of portfolio feel. But Instagram also apparently has decided to change their image ratio. I have been drawing squares specifically for Instagram, and they're like, yeah, now they're gonna be rectangular, so your artworks are gonna look funny. And yeah, that sucks for you that you specifically drew square artworks for our platform, and we're gonna change how our platform displays things. This is a very recent wound. I don't know if this is like a permanent change. I really hope that they change it back, just because I don't get why they did this. Like, Instagram having squares has been iconic for a while, but that's not the point. I'm very tangenty at the moment. I'm some reason tired for no reason and stuff. But yeah, I hope that this video has been helpful. I also hope that this is the best version of it, because this is attempt 3. I have rambled about art block for way too long. Also had art block for way too long, but I'm excited. I feel like I might be back, and that means I can start working on my manga again, which is really exciting. I want a storyboard. I want to get my chapter out. I want the world to see my babies. I kind of call all my characters babies. I'm kind of like a mean parent. I'm like, yeah, I love you. Time to make you suffer for my entertainment. That makes me sound like a horrible... I will stop talking, cause after that definitely will not get clipped one day out of context. But yes, thanks for watching, especially to this point. If you have any tips for art block, please comment them. For, I mean, one of the first couple versions, I was like begging everyone, please comment ideas so I can try things, so I can solve my art block, but I've seemingly, hopefully, figured it out for now, but still, comment stuff for other people, and maybe, next time, because the same techniques don't work every time to get out of it, but yeah, I am excited. I hope that you guys are having a great day, and if you're having art block, just go easy on yourself. Expectations, I know, can cause problems and stuff, especially, I know that I'm quite harsh on myself, because I feel like there's a very romanticized idea of, the grind, the hustle of making manga, and also just content creation. Algorithms prefer it if you're releasing regularly, and it can feel like, oh, well, I'm not making art often enough, I'm not taking this seriously enough, I'm not a real, as in, professional artist. Well, I mean, I'm not professional because I'm not getting paid. You know what I mean. But yeah, just be nice to yourself. Maybe try out some of these things. And I hope that your art goes well.